Hello, my name is Peter Stewart. I'm the host and the producer and the writer of Get a Better Broadcast Podcast and Video Voice. And I thought, let's put all of my years of advice and exercises and anecdotes from a career in radio and TV studios and also meeting rooms as well, training people about how to read out loud. Let's put it all together in a book. And while I'm putting it together in a book, tell you what, let's put it out as a podcast as well. So the book is, that's way off. That's a long way down the track. But these are the short daily podcasts to help you get a better broadcast, podcast and video voice. And if you've ever written a book or done a podcast and you've decided to investigate a particular topic, you'll know how it kind of grows exponentially over time, because you just think, well, actually, I could include that and I could include that. And we've got a few days now talking about learning accents, because you may want to be doing this maybe as part of characterization or maybe for some voiceover work or acting or whatever it happens to be. So just spending a few days on this, not a huge amount of time, but learning accents. So, for example, as I mentioned yesterday, if you are, for example, for want of a better example, maybe you're British and you want to speak English with, for example, a Spanish accent. Yeah, or maybe you want to speak English but with a Canadian accent. And as I mentioned yesterday, I'm sure it would also work if you are a native Spanish speaker and you want to continue speaking Spanish. And I know we've got some listeners from Spain, but you want to speak Spanish but with a what should we choose? Shall we choose an Australian accent or an American accent? Yeah, or something like that. I'm sure it's the idea, the principle is going to be the same, but I'm coming at it from a UK angle for obvious reasons. Okay. Now, we looked at vowels and consonants a few weeks ago and how they're formed, so you can feel free to go back and listen to those podcasts again. And it's true to say that accents are usually down to how you sound the vowels. Yeah, consonants are sometimes pronounced differently from your native tongue, but they're much more likely to be the same. It's the vowels, usually, which differ the most. And there are some vowel sounds in some languages that don't exist in standard English at all. So it's not a matter of making the same sound but in a different situation. You have to, first of all, perfect a whole new sound if you want to emulate, say, Chinese or some African languages. And other languages, as we've already seen, have sounds that are much more like English, although where you place your tongue or use your larynx and to what degree will be different. Although an American, and that's obviously a catch-all term, will sound more similar to a Canadian or Australian, think how different a native speaker of French or German sounds. So it's not just down to the accent, but the native language itself. And there are some places that will really help you create these different mouth movements and sound structures. I'm linking to these in the show notes. So the International Phonetic Association.org, there's a link, as I say, in the show notes, and there's a page on their site where they'll play you the different sounds and show you how to mimic them by the placement of your tongue or palate and so on. And seeing-speech.ac.uk actually shows you, it's a bit spooky actually, it's a bit weird, but it's quite fun, shows you an x-ray of what happens in your mouth as you make the different phonetic sounds. So, as I say, link to those in the show notes. Tomorrow, how different languages have different pitches. Yeah, never thought of that before, but it's true apparently. And then the day after that, how a rat can help you learn a new accent. That's as Get a Better Broadcast Podcast and Video Voice continues. From London, I'm Peter Stewart.